We're back once again, and in the relegation zone it gives me no pleasure to introduce Hungary's dogshit effort. That leaves me starving for more imagination. This off-the-shelf effort with a couple of badges slapped on it is beyond lazy, especially for such a big spectacle such as the Euros. Revisiting my ratings after a few days leaves me thinking that Hungary should have been given less. Now, by all means, this is not the worst kit we'll rate in 2024, but it's so bland. I've had more excitement from watching a Serbian film than this Serbian kit. Could someone please explain to me why the Adidas logo has doubled in size the last couple of years? I mean, God almighty, for a country like Italy that has graced the big stage with Puma and Kappa, such good kits, to see this middle of the road peak of meh is incredibly disappointing. I am excited to see my fellow Bald King Spalletti lead the team out of the Euros though. You go get him. I can take this home kit for Portugal as seriously as Cristiano's hat-tricks for Al Nassr. May just be me, but I feel like the Portuguese have worn the exact same design for at least a decade. Only way Nike is selling pallets of these is if Ronaldo announces retirement during the tournament. Before we get started on this one, right, if you're one of those folk that got all shook up about the England flag stuff, get laid. Please, just get laid more. Kit manufacturers, political parties and more have fucked around with flags for decades, so why yous have all suddenly decided that now it's a big deal? Grow up. The kit's shit because it's boring, it's not shit because of a multicoloured flag, you absolute virgins. Tiki-taka? More like shitty shatta. Apologies to my two Spanish viewers. A lot of Adidas in the bottom quarter of this list, and understandably so. The first Euros with fans for 8 years and the kits on show from the German behemoth have left a lot to be desired.
Right, so coming in at 18th place we have the Czech Republic, or is it Czechia? I can't remember what they go by now. Anyway, I'm not a massive fan of this top. It just seems pretty basic and safe for me. I've not tried to be bold or unique with it, just plain safe really. Next up we've got Turkey. I like this one. I think it's got a very classic feel to it, kind of retro. I like that central placement of the logo in the badge there. Looking back, I probably should have scored this one higher than what I did. Yeah, sorry Turkey. It's a very decent effort from you. You probably should be higher up in the rankings. Apologies. And now we have Croatia. Normally I really like the Croatian kits, but I don't know, there's just something about this one that I'm not a fan of. I think maybe it's the sizing of the Czech design on there. I think I prefer the squares to be smaller. However though, it still does enough to warrant a 6 for me, but it just could have been that so much better in my opinion. What do you think in this one? And up next is the top for Slovakia. It's a pretty boring top in my humble opinion. There's not a lot going on there for me. Yeah, not really got much else to say on this one then, unfortunately for Slovakia. Apologies. And now we have Austria. Again, it's a pretty boring top for me. The only reason it didn't score lower is probably just down to the graphic in the top there. It saved it from potentially getting a 4 from me, maybe even lower in all honesty. So yeah, not the greatest top, Austria. And now we've got Switzerland. I promise you this isn't mind games ahead of Switzerland playing Scotland at the Summers tournament, but I really hate this top. I just think it's a boring top to go with a team that normally plays really boring football. Not a fan of this one at all. Sorry Switzerland. Anywho, I'll hand you back to Matty now for the next batch of ratings.
And I'm back. The fact that 12 points gets you in the top half of the table shows the poor effort from many kit suppliers for this year's tournament. Germany's sleeves saved this one from being beyond mediocre, and now they can gloat they are the worst of the best. It's going to sound a bit stupid, but this kit makes me feel kind of uncomfortable. I usually dig it when kits line up everything down the middle, but something about Poland's kit had me feeling all kinds of awkward. Am I being weird? Let me know in the comments. Here we go, top 10. Hummel rarely put out a terrible kit, and for me anyway, I really found this one to sit right in that classic retro yet modern sort of area. Really enjoyable. It would have been a clean sweeper for me had there been a collar. Would really have enjoyed seeing that. Glory to Ukraine. Congratulations to this incredible nation for making another tournament during unprecedented, horrific circumstances. After years with Joma, Adidas have swooped in to secure the rights. Pinstripe saved it from being a victim of the genetic template. Look forward to seeing it live on the telly in a few weeks' time. I hope you guys enjoy it too. From a distance, you'd have guessed the Dutch have had a pretty plain effort, but in reality, there's a lot more details than meets the eye. A hazy texture up close, subtle stripe pattern. Are you chuffed with that, Netherlands fans? Let us know in the comments. Last one from me before Dave hits you with the top 6. Slovenia, with possibly the most unique shirt of all the home efforts this tournament. A vertical stripe up the middle that ends halfway up. Very interesting. A big fan of the font for the number as well. Ending in the middle of the chest with a reference to the beautiful mountains of the country. Very nice. The stripe itself is made up of navy diamond shapes, which you may have to zoom in to have a look. But yeah, Dave, take it away.
Hello, it's back to my dulcet tones again, where I now bring you the top 6. And coming in at 6th place here is Romania. I think this looks actually very decent. I'm a big fan of this one. I love how the colours all tie in with the badge, and those vertical graphics on the sides look really good there as well. And I believe from reading about the top that these symbols are actually Romania's national symbols. Can anyone tell me what the symbols actually are, please? I couldn't see what they actually are there. And next up we have France. I must say I'm a huge fan of the French kits this year. They've got that retro look about them, and you all know by now just how much of a slut I am for a retro kit. They seem to be going back to a more traditional shade of blue as well, rather than recent dark navy offerings they've had out. This probably should have scored an 8 from me at least, so they should have been higher up. Apologies France for that. And just missing out on a place in the top 3 is Belgium. Now, it's not a bad top as such. I just think it's so inferior when you compare it to their away one, which was inspired by Tintin apparently. I think I allowed that comparison just to cloud my judgment a little bit. So yeah, sorry Belgium, but you just missed out on the top 3. Not by much though. And now moving into the top 3. And taking 3rd place and bronze is Georgia. In fairness, this isn't actually a really bad top. I might have been a little bit harsh here with my score. It actually looks really decent in all honesty. Knowing Georgia though, they'll probably demand this ranking video was postponed and replayed at a later date, blaming the Scottish rain for the score. That may or may not have been a cheap dig in reference to the last qualifying game we played. Oops. And in 2nd place, just missing on top spot, but beating Georgia of course and England obviously, is the mighty Caledonia, Alaba or Scotland. I wasn't really a huge fan of this one when I first saw it, but when I saw it in person it really started to grow on me. I actually quite like the tartan graphic through the top layer, and the yellow through adds a bit of pizzazz to it. I just can't wait to see the Scotland team lift the trophy wearing this kit in July. Beautiful. And in at first place and taking the rightful title of the Euro 2024 kit rating champions is Albania. Now on the top of that collar there is stunning, and the design on the background of the kit helps it to stand out further, along with those vertical side bands. Congratulations Albania, this is thoroughly deserved first place, well done.